dabbing and concentrates, one of the hottest forms of, ingesting marijuana, definitely out there right now, and also probably one of the most misunderstood. So straight up, what's the most common misconception about dabbing and concentrates?
I think the biggest thing is that it's so exponentially stronger than cannabis. When you really do the math on it, when you break it down into milligrams and how potent a thing is by volume, it's really not that much more potent because you're consuming such a smaller amount at a time. So most people sit down and smoke an entire joint. That's roughly, depending on the potency, probably 50 milligrams of cannabinoids.
Sure.
If they smoke like a 0.9 gram joint or something. If you do a single dab, you're getting about that same amount. So the idea that one dab is 10 joints or one dab is X number of this is kind of ridiculous.
Okay, but a lot of people out there, given the power of modern weed, aren't smoking an entire joint in one sitting, right? So one dab is equal to a joint, but maybe that joint is being shared by 4 people, and the dab is usually ingested by one person, right?
For sure. So yeah, I mean, it really does depend on your tolerance. It depends what kind of a consumer you are.
Sure.
If you're on the heavier side of things, I think that one dab is not going to do a whole lot to you in the scheme of things. If you're a very light user, then yeah, you would probably take it a little bit easier and maybe go with something a little bit lighter like a vape pen. But.
I see. Interesting. All right. So especially to you, since you are an expert in this field, what's most appealing about concentrates? I mean, is it the flavor? Is it the effects? I mean, is it lingering as much as if you're smoking marijuana flower would, or more so?
More so. I mean, it's a refined product. I always like to describe it as, we as food eaters don't eat grain. We eat bread, or we eat, pasta. We eat a finished product. I look at concentrates as more of a finished product. The cannabis that goes into it is a raw product. And so concentrates really give you a much more full flavor experience. They give you a much more full aroma experience. When you have a truly outstanding concentrate, it's so much more pure. It's not diluted by plant matter. It's not diluted by poor treatment, poor trimming, poor harvesting. It's just a much more pure experience. So.
And concentrates, correct me if I'm wrong, but they do come from the bud, the flower. They're typically not made with, the sugar leaf, the trim. Is that correct, or?
A lot of modern concentrates, certainly in Colorado, a lot of people have gotten a taste for quote unquote nug run or full plant extracts. So that is kind of the upper curve of where concentrates are going. But
okay.
For the most part, most grows have trim as a byproduct. So trim is still being made into concentrates. But
it is. Okay.
The real connoisseur level people, for the most part, are not smoking trim made concentrates.